Hey, this is Doc. Sitting here cooking breakfast. So I'm often trying to get these projects completed and things, and then I see something and it just bothers me. But I know that it has been um, addressed by those who said it. We're talking about the issue with Lecrae and Pastor Giglio here, and both of them live and reside in Georgia. Um, but Louis Giglio has the church here in Atlanta. Um, so there was the whole statement that he made of slavery uh, being a curse and a blessing. And his specific statement I've never heard before, but I've heard other people that, of course, out of the evil that men do, God brings a blessing out of it. And that can't be ignored, it can't be denied. The act of slavery, chattel slavery, the inhumane conditions, rape, separation of families, all of those things. Yeah, those things are sinful. Slavery is sinful. It is wrong. When you're dealing with people who are drenched in sin, and this is why God had to create laws, because He had to create the very thing that shows that the very act that the people wanted to do was wrong, and God was trying to make it, that condition not only wrong but so severe with them trying to do it that they would just be like, I don't want anything to do with it. But because of the heart condition of men, they would just go ahead and do it anyway. This is why at the beginning, when he started making the law, he says, I'm making this law, and there are things that are being permitted but not agreed with or approved because you're a stiff-necked people. And so sometimes our greatest lessons are taught by allowing things to happen, and the results come in and be the teachers, be the one who beats the backs and breaks the bows of those who desire to break the law. So when I saw this video with Lecrae and Pastor Giglio, it bothered me because I think this is another one of those situations of foot in mouth, that I don't care if you're a youth pastor, senior pastor, Sunday school teacher, everyone has done it at some point. They've said something that they go back and say, I wish I would have never said that. Doesn't give an excuse for what happened, but it happens. I think that's what occurred, and he was trying to get himself out of the situation, and he couldn't. And then you have Lecrae trying to basically be as respectful as possible. But this is one of those situations where, as brothers of the faith, that yes, you have respect for people's positions in office and being respectful on the show. But that's one of those cases where you got to go, wait a minute, we got to think about this. Think about what you're saying. Think about how people are going to respond to that. Think about if this is biblical. Is slavery biblical? No, it's not biblical. Were there laws that were created that permitted servitude? There were laws that created to guide people who just had to have, servants and stuff, and people that were working off debts and everything else. But it never approved of chattel slavery. In fact, whenever atheists and everybody else run to, it says you can beat your slaves. It never says you can beat your slaves. The word is if. This is where you get people that want to try to pull up laws to serve their own self-righteousness, to make their morality right, when in fact we can go beyond their um, arguing and strife and everything, to hit dead at the center of their heart, and you'll find out you're just as wrong as you don't think you are. So in this situation, I believe, and it's very ironic this is happening as we are approaching Juneteenth, which is tomorrow. It's very ironic that we've got so many people that are just in an uproar about how they, how Christianity just approves of slavery. It never has, it never will, it never did. Um, what the Bible addresses is the mindsets of men, the cultures at that time, and then you had our history, Chateau history of slavery, how we tried to use those things to justify, in which we ended up with a civil war, one of the worst wars on American soil, of which we're still suffering from. This is why you're seeing what you're seeing now. All of these Confederate statues, which are idols, the American flag, which is an idol, that people now, their idols, God, are yanking the idols down. And He's using His justice to do it. So I think that we continue to pray for our brothers, because this, again, I think was one of those situations where they got stuck. But at the same time, it also gives us opportunity to show people the truth of God's kingdom. And His kingdom will come. So for all of the black atheists, black conscious community atheists, so forth, again, you're wrong.